Dear students and viewers, welcome back to my class. Let us learn another grammar lesson today, and today's topic is on clues or clauses. So without delay, let's jump into the class. Let us see the definition of a clause. A clause is a part of a larger sentence that consists of a subject and a predicate. It is next below the sentence in rank. Well, clauses are of three types. They are principal clause, subordinate clause, and coordinates. Conjunctions play a vital role in determining these three types of clauses. And conjunctions can be found in three kinds: subordinating conjunctions, coordinating conjunctions, and correlative conjunctions. Now, the number of clauses in a sentence can be determined by the number of finite verbs in a sentence. In a sentence of two finite verbs, use of one subordinating conjunction will make the sentence complex. And in a sentence of two finite verbs, use of one coordinating conjunction will make the sentence compound. On your screen is the list of subordinating conjunctions. These conjunctions will help you identify the sentence that they are complex. And here is a list of coordinating conjunctions. This will help you identify the sentence that they are compound. And here is a list of two kinds of correlative conjunctions. Conjunctions that will make compound sentence and conjunctions that will make complex sentence. Now, let me take you to the board and explain with examples. In these two sentences, as he is ill, he cannot come. We have another sentence, he is ill, so he cannot come. Now, in both the cases, what you can see, we have conjunctions. And we have this one clause and another clause. Here also we have one clause and another clause. Now, you have to see the difference between these two sentences. And when we read this sentence, forgetting this part, let's not look at this part. So let's see, as he is ill. Now the problem in the sentence is that we cannot fully understand what this particular sentence is trying to tell us. So it is incomplete. It doesn't give us a complete sense. That's why we need the help of another part in the sentence. Now, let's just not look at this. We will just concentrate on that. He cannot come. Now, he cannot come has a complete sense because we understand what it wants to tell us without this part. Now, when we add this part of the sentence with this, then it becomes fuller in meaning. Whatever it wants to tell us, joining with that, it's able to tell us what it wants to tell us. So this needs the dependency of this. That means this clause is dependent on this clause. Alright, so since this is dependent, we call it subordinate or dependent clause. Okay, so we call it subordinate clause or dependent clause. Now, this alone can express full sense, and that is why we call this principal clause. This is our principal clause, main clause. So, now together, this sentence makes complex sentence because we have one principal clause with a subordinate clause. We may have one or more subordinate clause. Doesn't matter how many subordinate clause or clauses we have, but we must have one principal clause with some subordinate clause or clauses. Okay, so that will make the sentence complex. Now in this case, we see this and this you look at these two sentences. When we read it, he is ill, we understand fully. It's giving us complete sense. So he cannot come also gives us another full sense. Only thing is, this is trying to express this, or this is trying to express this. Combined together, they are giving us a different form or meaning. Okay, but alone, this can express itself and this also can express itself. Therefore, this is called coordinate. Okay, this is called coordinate because this and this sentence are equal to each other. Here it is subordinate, here it is principal, but in this case both are principal clause, meaning they are of same quality. So we call them coordinate. This is the coordinate of this, or this is the coordinate of this. Alright, so these two principal clauses come together to form a compound sentence. Alright, to form a compound sentence. That means the rule is we must have minimum two principal clauses. So we have one principal clause, two principal clause, two principal clauses here, and that's why it's forming a compound sentence. In a complex sentence, we must have one minimum principal clause with one or more subordinate clause or clauses. In the case of a compound sentence, we need two principal clauses minimum, and we may have subordinate clause or clauses. Doesn't matter whether we have subordinate clause or not, it's not a big deal for us. What we must know is we must have two principal clauses. Alright, now you see here this conjunction, because it's making the sentence subordinate clause, we call it subordinating conjunction. This is subordinating conjunction. Now since this conjunction is making this and this coordinate to each other, okay, of equal standard, so that's why what happens, this conjunction is called coordinating conjunction. Okay, so these are the two kinds of conjunctions we are going to see, and I'm going to give you the list of this kind of conjunctions. Conjunctions which are called coordinating conjunctions and conjunctions which are called subordinating conjunctions. So separately, when you remember these conjunctions and you come across this kind of conjunctions in the sentence, you will be able to recognize whether the sentence is complex or compound. Okay, it becomes very easy for you to locate that or understand it. Now we must first of all understand finite and non-finite verbs. Now let us look at how we can see a clause. So distinctively we have to understand a clause is a group of words, a sentence is also a group of words, a phrase is a group of words. Okay, so starting with a phrase is also a group of words. We have next step, which is clause. Clause is also a group of words. Third is sentence. Sentence is also a group of words. Now it starts with a word, right? Word, and then a phrase is combination of some words together. Okay, here we don't have finite verb, no finite verb. We don't have a finite verb here, but in this case, clause and sentence, in both these cases we must have finite verb. Now what is a finite verb? That is our concern. We have to understand what finite and non-finite verbs are. Then only we will be able to identify the three kinds of sentences based on the structure, that is your simple sentence, complex sentence, and compound sentence. So here let us see, this is a group of words. Okay, either it can give you complete sense or not, doesn't matter. It is a group of words, with finite verb. Okay, with finite verb. How it is? See, he is ill. Now when we cancel this out, what happens? We have he is ill. Now this makes sense because our tense here is correct or proper. Okay, we have a proper tense, which means we will call it a finite verb. Here also, he cannot come. Cannot come. Can, negative not, cannot come. This is our verb formation. So this is also a proper form of verb formation. So any regular or proper form of verb formation in a sentence is our finite verb. But sometimes you will see sentences like this: having done, he went home. Having done. Now you see this combination of words, having done. We have a present participle here and a past participle here. Look at this combination. In a regular tense, what we have, this having is going to come with an auxiliary verb, is or are or were, like this, having. Or this word will come with, suppose, have or has done, like this. Okay, so this combination, have done, has done, this is our proper tense, because we work out like this in the tense while working with tense. Okay, so now in this case, this doesn't come close to our tense. Both of these are non-finite verbs. This is a present participle where we don't have any auxiliary verb. This is a past participle where we don't have any auxiliary verb. So I'm going to discuss more on this. So let's look at this again. Let's look at these two sentences. He is having dinner. Now having, this is ing form of verb. When an ing form of verb comes in the sentence, we generally take it as continuous, progressive tense. But see, if we have an auxiliary verb before it, then only it becomes our progressive tense. Here also we have a past participle form of word here, done, comes from do, did, done. This is our past participle, okay, or V3 form of verb, third form of verb. Now he has done. When this auxiliary verb has accompanies this, or this auxiliary verb is helping the principal verb to sit well in the sentence, then what happens? With has or have or had, it becomes perfect tense. So he has done, it is a present perfect tense. So we have to understand this is our regular tense. This is our regular tense. So this regular tense means it is our proper tense, and so we will call it finite verb. Okay, proper or regular tense, so we will call it finite verb. This is it. But as we have seen earlier, the combination of having and done together, like this, having done the work, he went home. Now you look at this, he went home. He went home is finite verb, because went in the simple past tense doesn't need any auxiliary verb before it. So I am going to show you this kind of thing in a chart. So without auxiliary verb, this is correct. He went home is a proper tense. But in this case, you see, having done, participles, whether present participle or past participle, these forms always need an auxiliary verb. Okay, an auxiliary verb before it is an important thing. Sometimes in the sentence like this, without auxiliary verbs also, they sit like this. This doesn't mean that this sentence is wrong. We have to understand. Now in this case, after having taken this kind of form in the sentence, it is still correct in the sentence. How it is correct? We call it a non-finite verb. Okay, non-finite verb. This is how it is. We have to understand finite and non-finite verb. Here it is non-finite verb, here it is finite verb, because auxiliary verb comes before our ing form of verb, and auxiliary verb comes before our past participle form of verb. So in this case, both these participles, one is present, one is past. In both the cases, you don't see any auxiliary verb, but they are sitting correctly in the sentence, so we call it non-finite verb. Okay, so this is the difference between finite and non-finite verb. Now let me take you to the chart where I'm going to discuss the different verb forms. Okay, let's look at this chart. You can see here I have separated it into two blocks with two columns here and another two columns here. Alright, so I have written without auxiliary and here with auxiliary. Without auxiliary, what we have? Present, past. With auxiliary, we have past participle, present participle. So this we will call regular or proper tense. Okay, so this means all these are going to make it finite verb in the sentence. Okay, so for example, we can just make a sentence with this word. In present tense, we will write he does the work. In past tense, we will write he did the work, which means do or does, third person singular, that's why we are writing does. Past tense, did this. Now these two forms can be written in the sentence directly without auxiliary verbs. Okay, so this makes our sentence finite verb or proper tense. Okay, now in these two cases, let's see, in these two cases, if we write he done the work, it is wrong. He done the work. We cannot make a sentence he done the work like this. We need an auxiliary verb. Suppose he has done the work. This is our auxiliary verb. So before past participle form, we must have one auxiliary verb. Or suppose doing, we write he. We cannot write he doing the work. It is nonsense. Okay, it is not a correct sentence. So when we need to make this word sitting correctly in the sentence, we must have one auxiliary verb here. He is doing the work, then it is correct. Now before ing or before past participle form, we must have an auxiliary verb before it, not after it, not here. This is not acceptable. So what we can accept is this should be before our ing form, auxiliary verb. So now this becomes with auxiliary verb. With auxiliary verb, these forms of words are sitting correctly in the sentence to make it regular or proper tense. So we call them finite verbs. Okay, we call them finite verbs. Now look at this sentence. Seeing me come, he ran away. We have two verbs here, three verbs here. Seeing, come, and ran. But when we look at all these three verbs, what we can see, this is present participle and this is past participle. Because we can never write a sentence starting with me like this, me come, you cannot write. We can write I come when we change the pronoun form here. So with me, you cannot write come. So when we have written me come like this, that means this is our past participle form. Seeing is already present participle. Okay, so both are participles now. Look at this. And we have already seen that participles always need an auxiliary verb before it, but there is no auxiliary verb in both the cases. So what do we call them? But they are sitting correctly in the sentence. Okay, what do we call them? We call them non-finite verb. Okay, both these are non-finite verb. Now only here, he ran. Ran comes from the word run. Run, ran, again we have run here. Present, past, past participle. So present, past, these two cases without auxiliary verb, they sit correctly in the sentence. So he ran away. This is our finite verb. Okay, this is our finite verb. So this is how we have to understand finite and non-finite verb. We wrote one more sentence, one more word in the chart. I remember this, which is swim. Now we can write a sentence like this. Swimming is a good exercise. Alright, now we can see one auxiliary verb here. But what did I say? Auxiliary verb must be before our ing form or past participle form. Look at this. So it is after ing form of verb. This is an ing form of verb, but our auxiliary verb is sitting after it, so it matters a lot. Okay, so in this case, this ing form of verb becomes the subject of the sentence and it has formed itself as a noun. So when it converts itself into a subject of the sentence, forming a noun, here this ing form of verb like this will be called a gerund. This is called a gerund, gerundial noun. Okay, and that's why here, of course, this is a verb, but what kind of verb? Non-finite verb, because there is no auxiliary verb here as we are supposed to have. So this is called gerund because it becomes the subject of the sentence. In this case, this is not the subject of the sentence, because if it has to be a subject of the sentence, immediately there should be a finite verb. Okay, in this case we don't have immediate finite verb here, it's very far away. We have a subject here and then a finite verb here. So this is our subject, this is not. So in this case, immediately we have a finite verb here, so this is our subject. Okay, this alone is our verb in the sentence. We don't have any other verb here. So we have to understand, when an auxiliary verb sits in a sentence without helping any other verb in the sentence, becomes a principal verb. Okay, a principal verb. So this is a finite verb here. Okay, when we talk about simple, complex and compound kind of sentences, you see, simple sentence means a sentence with one subject and one finite verb. That much is simple sentence. One subject, one finite verb. In a complex sentence, you will see one principal clause. We must have one principal clause, and we may have one or more subordinate clause or clauses. In the case of compound sentence, we must have two principal clauses with or without subordinate clause or clauses. Two principal clauses, meaning one coordinating conjunction. Okay, this much is our two principal clauses. If we have one coordinating conjunction, we have two principal clauses, which means it makes the sentence, by no means it makes the sentence compound. Okay, so no doubt you should not confuse with how many subordinate clauses you have in the sentence. Doesn't matter. In the case of complex, you have to recognize you must have one principal clause, which means you have only subordinating conjunctions used in this sentence. But here in the case of compound sentence, if you see one coordinating conjunction, that means you are having two principal clauses, so that is going to make your sentence by no means a compound sentence. You may have subordinate clause, you may not have, doesn't matter. Okay, I hope you understood it. Okay, now let's discuss about subordinate clauses. We have three kinds of subordinate clauses. One is noun clause, one is adjective clause, and another is adverbial clause. Okay, so we are going to discuss on these three clauses separately. We will first of all discuss on noun clause. It works as a noun, adjective clause works as an adjective, and adverbial clause works as an adverb. Okay, so that's how it is. Now let's talk about a noun clause. There are various ways of understanding noun clause. First of all, let's talk about the subject of a verb. You look at this, we have a verb here, and this is our clause. Okay, we have a verb, so we have a subject, verb, and this is our verb together, is known, past participle, that means passive form. So to all, this is our object. So subject, verb, object, and that's why when we look at this, that he is ill becomes our subject of a verb, so it is a noun clause. That he is ill is known to all. Look at this, when he will return. When he will return is a clause. Is uncertain, we have a verb here, so subject of a verb, that's why it is our clause. We call it a noun clause. And another thing is the object of a verb. A noun clause can be an object of a verb. Look, this is a clause, this is a clause. Okay, and in all these cases what you can see, I know, this is our verb and our object, our verb and our object, our verb and our object. So when it acts as an object, I know when he will come. He said that he would go. I know that he is ill. So that he is ill can be brought this side, that he would go can also be brought this side, when he will come also can be brought this side, like this. That he is ill is known to all. That he is ill is known to me, like this. That he would go is said by him. When he will come is known to me, like this. So we have to understand whether we can change it to passive. So verb and the whole clause becomes our object. Okay, that's how the object of a verb. This is our verb and object. This is the second category of our noun clause. Now let's look at this. Another point is the object of a preposition. I know nothing of. This is our preposition. On is our preposition. So whatever comes after this preposition, this clause is our our noun clause. We have a preposition here. Whatever clause comes after this is a noun clause. Okay, and the next thing is the complement to a verb. We have a verb here and here. All right, now you see this is our subject, this is not our conjunction. Here also this is our subject, subject verb, subject verb, subject verb. Now what it says, complement to a verb. Whatever this clause is, it is reflecting our subject. The truth. What is the truth? That he is ill. This is the truth. So the truth reflects that he is ill. What we expected reflects this word that, our subject. So that's why this is reflecting the idea of what we expected, and then in this case the truth is reflecting that he is ill. So these both the clauses are noun clause because it acts as a complement. Complement means something that completes the sense of something in the sentence. So it is completing the sense here, the truth, and the sense of the truth is completed by this clause. So we call it a noun clause. The last point is apposition to a noun or it. Look at this. Apposition. In apposition. Apposition means we have a noun here in the sentence. Whatever comes after this is apposition. That means this rumor that he is dead is the same thing. What is the rumor? That he is dead. Okay, so this and this both are same thing. He is dead, the rumor is he is dead. So this and this same thing. So we call it noun apposition. Apposition means two things, two similar nouns of same identity sitting together. That is our apposition. Okay, so this is called noun clause. All right, these are the noun clauses. I hope you have understood it. Now let's look at this. This is adjective clause. I know the boy who did it. Look at adjective. Does the work of an adjective. Adjective means the word that describes something about a noun. So the boy is our noun here, the place is our noun here. So what happens, this who did it, this clause actually describes this, the boy. Okay, whatever is given here, the boy who, that means this is the boy that speaks about here, that is spoken about here in this word who. This who means this boy. We can see this is the antecedent of this. So whatever what we can understand by this is the boy is actually described in this sentence. I know the boy who did this. Who did it? Who did it means he did something, and that describes that boy. The place where he was born. The place where he was born. So this where he was born becomes our adjective clause. Okay, adjective clause. This is how we have to identify this. This noun, where he was born, is the exact place that is called the place. So this, the place, is being described by where he was born. That's how adjective clause works. Okay, let us look at these sentences here. Adverbial clause. Okay, clauses. Wait, adverb actually talks about a verb or adjective. We have to know this. These two things. Adverb talks on a verb or an adjective. So let's see, we have a verb here. Wait until I come. So here wait is talking about until I come, means it's talking about the time. Okay, so wait until I come, this is our clause, and so whatever comes after this verb is our adverbial clause. Strike is also a verb. Whatever comes after this, say strike. How to define this? While the iron is hot. While the iron is hot. When to strike? Time. wait until I come. How long? Wait until I come. Okay, until I come is how long. So strike, when to strike? While the iron is hot. So that's how this becomes our adverbial clause of time. He came after I had left. I had left. Look, the word after. I had left. When? This is our verb. When he came? After I had left. So that's how it's defining. Okay, so the verb is being described by this. The action of the verb is described by this. The action of the verb here is described by this. This is described by this. And here we have an adjective here, sorry. Okay, I am sorry. So whatever is being described in this clause, whatever is described in this clause actually describes our adjective. Okay, so our adjective here, talking about adjective, adverb talks about adjective. So our adjective here is described by these words, that you said this. Something is said for which the person became sorry. Okay, I am sorry that you said this. All right, so that's our adverbial clauses. Thank you for watching.